Hello, ghosties. You're listening to Not My Ghost.
Not My Problem. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Jen.
Whether you're a skeptic, a true believer, or somewhere in between, join us for a journey into the unknown.
Because remember, when it comes to the paranormal, it may not be our problem.
But it's certainly someone's problem.
Kelly, how has your day been?
Well, I've had better days.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know what possibly could have happened to make today not a good day.
I don't know. We were supposed to record last night.
We were.
Mm-hmm. And then one of my front two teeth fell out. That is a crown. It was a crown that I have. But I got the crown in 1999. And after a while, they lose their integrity. And mine thought, hey, it's Thanksgiving week.
Of course.
Let's fall out now. So Kelly has to wait 2 weeks before she can get anything to fix her tooth.
Why do you need your 2 front teeth for Thanksgiving?
Right. I have one.
Yeah.
And what more? Am I just, being a stingy asshole at this point?
Yeah, I guess
I think I need 2?
You're just starting to celebrate Christmas a little earlier with the all I want for Christmas is my two front teeth.
Hopefully this other one stays where the hell it's supposed to be, though.
Hopefully.
So this is just, I'm going to sound funny. I'm going to have a whistle when I say certain words. I'm going to sound like Elmer Fudd. And it's just going to be that way for about 3 episodes.
Yes. And that's fine because we're real people that have real problems. And the last thing we would want is to stop bringing you these amazing episodes.
Right. So our dedication is to the listeners.
Exactly.
And if I have to sound like Elmer Fudd for 3 episodes, if I had to sound like it for 3 months, then that's just what we would do.
That is just what we would do because we power through.
We do.
I will say, though, when you told me yesterday, when you FaceTimed me right before we were about to record and said that your front tooth fell out, before you told me it was a crown, I had a mini panic attack because that is literally my worst nightmare, that my teeth are just going to fall out one day. I don't know if anybody else has these nightmares, but I have a recurring nightmare where my teeth just start falling out. I'm sure that if I look that up, that probably means something, but
probably
I haven't.
No, I will say that has never been a recurring nightmare of mine, but it is now.
It might be now, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Now it's going to start.
It will be now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Welcome to our scripted, unscripted banter.
Yeah. I do have a question for you.
Okay.
By the way, listeners, Merry Christmas.
Oh, yeah, right. Merry Christmas.
This is our Christmas episode.
As we're recording it the week of Thanksgiving, this is our Christmas episode. Yes. Good catch, Kelly, because I forgot. Merry Christmas to everyone and to all a good night. I don't know why I said that.
Okay. I have a question for you. What is the best Christmas present you've ever received? And it's a 2-parter. Okay. So I want to know the best one you've ever received. And then I want to know what is the best one that you could receive.
Okay. Best Christmas present I've ever received. Like as an adult or as a kid, or it doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter. Your whole life.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say probably the most memorable and what I thought was the best at the time, even though I honestly think they were demons from hell, was my Furby. Because my mom tricked me for me to think that I wasn't going to get it. So the way my Christmas presents were always set up is all the fun stuff was in the front. And then there was just this pile of boxes. And the pile of boxes that were shaped in a certain way, I knew were clothes. And they were the last thing I opened because what 7, 8-year-old wants clothes? None of them. So they're boring.
I always opened them first, and then I had the fun ones to look forward to.
No, I just I always opened the fun ones first. I was impatient. So the entire season leading up to it, my mom kept warning me, we can't find a Furby. They're super hard to find. They're so popular. It was the toy of the year. And we couldn't get one. So she kept on kind of prepping me for that. And I'm like, no, she's going to surprise me. She's going to surprise me. And then I get to the stack of boxes that I know are closed. And I'm like, fuck, she was really serious. I didn't get my Furby. And I was really sad. And as I'm opening the boxes, I start to like pull more boxes out. And behind the stack of closed boxes was another box that was a different shape. And I went to grab it. And my mom was like, no, open the clothes first. And I was like, okay. So I like ripped through all of the clothes. And then I got throwing everything across the room, not even caring. And then I got to the Furby. And yeah, I think that's just my most memorable, I would say.
I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
What about you? What's your favorite?
So my favorite was I guess it was last Christmas. Rebecca got me Ed Sheeran tickets, and
oh yeah,
and she was going to the concert with me.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just the tickets; it's that Rebecca and I got. That's my daughter. Sorry, my daughter Rebecca, and she likes Ed Sheeran too, and wanted to go to the concert. And Rebecca and I don't have a lot of similar interests.
Yeah.
So this was like a really fun thing that we both really liked.
That's awesome. And then even better on that gift, you got to go with me too.
I know.
I ended up getting Ed Sheeran tickets as well from my ex, my boyfriend at the time. And we were both going. So Kelly and I met for dinner with my ex and her daughter. And we weren't sitting next to each other, but we drove to the concert together and hung out a little bit and then drove home.
The best part was there was these two girls behind us. And the one girl, when I say she had the hots for Ed Sheeran, at one point, she says to her friend, he's so goddamn sexy. I want him so bad. It's like she turned into Blanche Devereaux from the Golden Girls. And Rebecca and I just looked at each other. And we were trying really hard not to crack up.
That's awesome.
It was pretty funny. So that would have to be my best one that I've received. What about the best one you could receive?
That I could receive? Can it be a person? Is that?
I mean, anything you want.
Josh Gates wrapped in a bow as my husband. I don't know.
I love it. I'll do my best.
Okay.
In May.
Try. Yeah.
I'll try.
Try. Be my wing woman. Set me up with Josh.
I mean, if we can pick people, I'm going to go Hosier.
That's fair.
But, okay. I would love to get like a trip to Europe.
Okay.
And when we went to Europe, we could go to Ireland, where Hosier is from.
There you go.
And then
if I'm going like person, like high top of the non-probability, not even a small possible chance, it's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I think I've said that before on this podcast. But he's married, and I don't want to be a homewrecker.
Right. See, I'm married, so I would have to really get Nick on board with me and Hosier.
I'm not married, and neither is Josh. So, Josh, if you're listening.
Yeah, and we know that you are.
We know that you are. Come on. Slide into my DMs.
There you go.
And not just any man named Josh, just Josh Gates.
Yeah, that's an important detail.
I have to specify.
Yes. All righty.
Yeah.
So do you want to know what we're talking about tonight? You already know because you prepared half the episode.
I did prepare half the episode.
But maybe we'll let the listeners know.
Sure. Go ahead.
Tonight, we're trading sleigh bells for something a little bit more sinister.
Ooh, I like sinister.
It turns out Christmas isn't all twinkling lights and candy canes. Hidden in its traditions are tales meant to chill your bones. From not-so-nice kitty cats to ghostly forest stalkers like the Hans Trapp, and mischievous little creatures like the Nisa, these chilling legends will have you double-checking your chimney tonight. Or last.
Thankfully, I don't have a chimney.
Yeah, I don't either. And this episode comes out on Christmas Day.
Yes.
So really, you should have checked your chimney last night. But you'll know for next year.
Last night. Yeah.
Definitely.
Of course.
But I have some fun facts first.
Okay.
That's a lot to say without a front tooth. Fun facts first.
Fun facts first.
All right. In 1882, Edward H. Johnson, a friend of Thomas Edison, introduced the first Christmas tree lit with electric lights. Before that, candles were used, which is wild to me.
Wild.
Because they didn't have artificial trees back then.
That is so dangerous.
Yeah. Santa would need to travel roughly 1,800 miles per second to deliver presents to every home in the world on Christmas Eve.
Now, does that account for the time differences across time zones?
Mm-hmm. It says every home, but some people don't celebrate Christmas.
And not everybody has kids.
Right. So I kind of thought, I didn't know how to adjust these facts.
No,
because,
yeah, that's fair.
You know, I'm not a mathematician, but...
Thankfully, Santa is magical, so he's able to do that.
Right.
He's like the Doctor from Doctor Who, where he has, like, his sleigh is like a TARDIS, and it can go across time and space.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Now, this is one of my kids' favorites. In Japan, it is a Christmas tradition to eat Kentucky Fried Chicken on Christmas. A practice
yes, I did know that.
Started by a successful marketing campaign in 1974. That practice is as old as I am, which is fucking old. I just heard something, and I don't know if we're going to have ghostly problems, but it just reminded me of something from last episode. My TV kept coming on or unpausing a video, and I finally turned the TV off, and the TV turned itself back on and started playing the same YouTube video again. So then I got up to unplug the TV, or so I thought. After the episode, I told Jen, let me show you how hard it is to not just turn the TV on, but the steps you have to take to get to that same YouTube video. So I pick up the remote, I turn the TV on, and I'm showing her, and she goes, wait, did you unplug the TV? And I really thought I did, but I had unplugged the Roku, and thankfully the TV did not turn itself back on after that, because I would have shit my pants.
I wish it would have.
So that's just
now knowing what I know, I wish.
Yeah, that's just a little BTS for our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
All right, scary facts. There are stories of poltergeist activity intensifying around Christmas.
Oh.
One famous case in 1977 involved a family in Enfield, England, who reported ghostly knocking, moving furniture, and even levitating objects. Events that seemed eerily active during the holiday season.
Okay. Poltergeist just getting festive.
Now, I'm going to mispronounce this. If you speak French, be nice. In French tradition, Père Fouettard
sounds right.
Accompanies Saint Nicholas, but instead of gifts, he delivers punishment to naughty children by whipping them or stuffing them into a sack. His origins are linked to gruesome tales of murder and cannibalism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like you had me at murder, but then you went cannibalism, and I'm like, I'm out. I'm sorry.
And a common urban legend tells of people unknowingly bringing haunted Christmas trees into their homes.
I want a haunted Christmas tree.
Right? The belief is the trees taken from forests may bring along the spirits of those who passed near them or creatures that lurk among the branches. Now, I don't know about dead creatures, but a couple years ago, my oldest son was at his now fiance's house, dad's house for Christmas, when they noticed a bunch of thousands of tiny spiders coming from the tree on Christmas morning.
Oh, God.
And there is video of my son taking an entire decorated Christmas tree and launching it out the front door of the house.
I kind of want to see that video. Please send it to me.
I'll have to see if he still has it.
But also burn it all down.
Right. I know. It's like
the tree, the house, the Christmas presents, the turkey in the oven, burn it to the ground, because that's just what would have to happen.
It's one thing if like a spider crawls out of it, but thousands of babies?
Yeah, no. Give me ghost any day of the week.
Ghosts over spiders?
Yeah. I will take 1,000 ghosts over 100 spiders.
Hold on. My window's open. I just realized it. So I said I heard something earlier. And I just looked over my shoulder and I jumped. One of the cats is in here. I didn't see him in here.
Just don't let him anywhere near a microphone.
I don't think he would come near the microphone.
Okay. Do you want me to go first, Kelly?
Yeah, I think you should go first, and then I will do one, and then you'll do one, and then I'll do another one.
Okay, sounds good. Move over, Santa Claus. There's another figure checking who has been naughty or nice. And her punishments are way more terrifying. I am talking about Perchta, the Alpine Christmas Witch.
Ooh.
Because of course I picked a Christmas witch.
Of course you did.
Why would I not? She is a complex character blending pagan goddess origins with Christian moralizing tales. Her story evolved over centuries, and it is tied to the custom beliefs of Austria, Bavaria, and the surrounding region. So who is Perchta? Well, she, as I said, originates from the Alpine regions. And so again, Austria, Bavaria, Switzerland, parts of Germany. And she is known as the Christmas Witch or Bright One. She is sometimes depicted as a benevolent figure who rewards hard work, but she also is a terrifying enforcer of tradition. So she is known to appear in two different forms: a beautiful woman dressed in white, symbolizing purity and good fortune.
Okay.
And then a haggard, monstrous crone with a hooked nose and a sharp blade concealed in her clothing.
Well, how the hell does she decide which one she's going to show up as?
Well, it's whether you're naughty or nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She is often accompanied by animalistic spirits, sometimes resembling wolves or bears. Perchta has some pagan roots, and she likely originated pre-Christianity, and she's associated with fertility, domesticity, and the cycle of life and death. Now, some scholars link her to Frau Hali, who is and I hope I'm saying that right, a German deity who controlled weather, spinning, and the afterlife. And Frau Hali was known as the guardian of the hearth, ensuring the maintenance of household order. Now, I said before, Perchta is often called the Bright One. Perchta comes from the old High German word parat, meaning bright or shining. This suggests that she might have been a light-bringing figure, possibly tied to the winter solstice or the seasonal rebirth. Now, as Christianity spread through Europe, Perchta and other pagan deities were demonized, right? Because
of course,
pagans were all demonized.
Of course.
And we were all bad, and witches were bad, and pagan traditions were bad and
even
demonic.
Even though the Christians themselves bring pagan traditions into their Christmas celebration.
Yes, they do. Because they were trying to make it easier for people to convert by using these same traditions, which now thinking about it, we should have done a whole episode on that. But note for next year on all of the traditions that Christianity stole from pagan and other religions and made their own.
Yeah.
And all the things you guys are currently doing today that stems from paganism. Look it up because it's fascinating. Or hang around till next Christmas when we'll talk about it.
That sounds like a better idea.
Okay, so then in the Middle Ages, the church condemned Perchta's lore as superstition. So just trying to shove her down. She became associated with witchcraft and devilish behavior. Oh my.
Oh, not devilish behavior.
Devilish behavior. Oh, I'm appalled. Again, she's depicted as a dual nature figure, the benevolent, really pretty woman who rewards those who were good, and then the terrifying enforcer who punished the lazy or disobedient. During the 12 days of Christmas, December 25th through January 6th, my birthday, Perchta was believed to visit homes to ensure that customs were observed, particularly spinning wool and maintaining household cleanliness.
Okay.
So Perchta punished those who did not finish their spinning or who broke fasting traditions. I guess during this time, you're supposed to fast a certain amount. But Perchta also rewarded the hardworking, so those who did not break fasting and did all of their spinning, with silver coins. And they were often left in shoes or stockings.
I want to wake up tomorrow morning and have a bunch of coins in my shoes because I work very hard every day.
Did you finish your spinning, Kelly?
My spinning?
Yeah, you're spinning wool.
Oh, no.
Okay, well then you're going to get punished.
It has to be only spinning wool? Is that what it was?
That's what Perchta does.
Oh.
I don't know if the tradition has been updated, but that's what it was back then.
Well, I haven't spun no damn wool, so I guess.
No silver coins for you.
Yeah, that's what the bank says too.
Well, Perchta also is known for watching over the souls of children and ensuring that they were treated well, and also ensuring that they adhered to societal norms. Okay. So maybe she also punished the adults that didn't treat the children well. I like that.
I really like that.
Yeah, me too. Because there's a lot of adults out there that could probably use some punishment for that.
Like, who's going to make these people pay? Why is it always the kids that get coal in their stocking and not the shitty adults? Right. Why do they never get consequences? I like this woman.
Me too. Now, as rewards,
my REM pod just turned off.
How hard is it to turn your REM pod on?
I never paid attention.
What do you have to do? What do you have to do to turn it on?
I'm going to pick it up. It's going to make a noise. It's going to be annoying. It's quite the push.
Yeah, and I heard that click.
Should I leave it on?
Turn it off and see if it turns back on again. Is it like a little switch? Or is it just a button?
I'll show you here. So you click it this way and then push it that way.
So it's in a different direction when it turns on.
Yes.
And it was just in a different direction when it was on that someone else turned it on.
Yes. I turned it off by putting it in this direction.
That is not like something that it can just accidentally do.
Unless there's something inside of it that isn't working properly. But you have to push pretty hard.
Yeah. And it did this when we recorded last week's episode too.
It did. And last week, I told everybody that I forgot to actually unplug the TV. But when I turned the TV on to show Jen, the REM pod started going off like, yeah, finally you're putting my video back on.
Right.
Remember that?
But it didn't go off until you got to the Christmas music video.
Right.
So it was sitting there. Again, Kelly's across the room and she's showing me the TV and the REM pod was silent because this at this point turned itself on and you had moved it over by the TV. And the REM pod was silent. And then you got to the Christmas music video and it went off like as soon as you got to that video.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Perchta, maybe she's rewarding you. I don't know. Or punishing you. You didn't do your spinning, Kelly. Better get out your spinner tonight.
Punishment would be seeing that thing again.
Yeah, that's fair. So Perchta blesses those who honor her tradition with silver coins or good fortune. So she also gives you good fortune. It's not always coins, which I feel like we both could use some good fortune as well.
I most certainly could use good fortune and a tooth.
Yeah. I could use good fortune or silver coins. I'm not picky, Perchta. Whatever you want to throw at me, I'll take either.
I feel like with good fortune, you would make the right things to bring on as many gold coins as you want or silver coins as you want.
Yeah, good fortune could be, a raise at my job or...
Oh, you got to think bigger than that, sweetheart.
I'm going little. I'm not even picky, Kelly.
Josh Gates getting on one knee and proposing to you at Paracon. As soon as he sees you going, oh my God, my eyes have never laid sight on such beauty before.
He could say that, but it would be a little weird if he proposed to me at first sight.
Listen, you said the best gift you could get was Josh Gates.
That is true, but I want to date him for a little bit.
No, if he proposes
He has to
you,
woo me.
No. If he proposes to you, you say, let's get married right now. And you run off and you get married immediately before he has time to say, let's get a prenup. And then if he's a dick, you can divorce him.
I'm in this for love, Kelly, not for his money.
I know. But you can be in it for love. But if he happens to be a dick.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't think he is, though.
I don't think
he seems like a good guy.
It's hard to know.
It is. He just seems fun.
I would set you up. If I had to pick, I would set you up with probably Alex from Project Fear.
I would take Alex or Tanner from Project Fear.
I would take Alex, Tanner, Dakota, or Chelsea from Project
I would also take
Fear.
Chelsea. I would also take Chelsea. Dakota, I would be friends with Dakota, but I don't know. He's just not my type. He's cute.
Yeah.
But there's just, I don't know. I feel like we'd be good friends. But Tanner or Alex? Yeah. Or Chelsea. Chelsea's married though, isn't she?
Chelsea is married.
Okay. Again, I don't want to be a home wrecker over here.
Yeah.
So.
I would wreck my home and hers.
That's fair.
We are way off topic. Sorry.
We are. Back to Perchta. Okay. Perchta. So again, silver coins, good fortune. I'll take either of them. I would love Josh Gates wrapped in a bow, but I take it smaller, Perchta, if you're listening. And as for punishment, she has particularly grisly methods of enforcement.
I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah, don't get on Perchta's bad side, Kelly, because she is known for slitting open the bellies of the lazy, greedy, or disobedient. And she replaces their innards with straw, stones, or garbage.
I'm concerned because I've had kidney stones before. But I have to say, my ex-husband isn't filled with any of these things yet, so I think we're good.
Yeah. And she generally is known to target children who lie or misbehave. So be good, kids, because you don't want your bellies stuffed with straw, stone, or garbage.
Don't you love just the threats that parents give to kids?
I know, right? Like, who came up with that first?
Right.
Like, Perchta's going to come. She's going to cut open your belly and fill you with garbage.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Perchta also is known to be seen with an entourage.
Oh, okay.
Called the Pertin. And these are spirits who accompany her during her travels. Okay, I apologize in advance for saying this wrong, because I'm sure I'm going to. Shonenpertin, which is the beautiful Perchta. So again, this represents the blessings and the good fortune, fertility. And then you have Schienpertin, which is the ugly Perchta, which brings curses, bad luck, and chaos. Now, in the modern Alpine regions, they celebrate a festival called Pertenlof, where people dress as either the pretty or the ugly Perchta, and they parade through town to ward off evil spirits and usher in the new year.
Oh, which one would you dress up like?
I would definitely be the ugly one. Come on. It's more fun. I want to go to a Pertenlof, though. It sounds fun.
Yeah, I think we should put it on our bucket list.
Let's do it. Now, there are some haunted Christmas tales about Perchta. So Perchta's rules were simple but strict. Homes had to be clean, spinning and weaving had to be completed, and your traditional fasting observed during the 12 days of Christmas. Those who disobeyed were often found subject to her wrath. In one Alpine village, a family ignored Perchta's warning to finish spinning their wool before Epiphany night. They woke to find their spinning wheel twisted into a monstrous shape, the wool stained with blood, and the following year the family's fortune declined, and strange noises haunted their homes every Christmas season.
Is that like the Christmas poltergeist?
I guess so.
Maybe the two are connected.
Yeah. Another tale says that there was a greedy farmer who prepared a lavish meal during the fasting period of Perchta's watch. And that night she appeared at his table, turning his feast to ash and cursing his crops to fail. Locals claim that they saw a strange, shadowy figure lurking near his farm every winter thereafter. Perchta's legend reminds us that holidays haven't always been about merriment and joy. They're also a time for reflection, responsibility, and a little fear of the unknown. Whether she's blessing the virtuous with silver coins or haunting with her ghostly procession, Perchta tales challenge us to honor traditions, care for our homes, and respect the old ways, or risk facing her blade. Okay, Kelly, your turn.
Alrighty. So we're going to talk about the Nisa, or tomta, as it's pronounced in Swedish. So the Nisa... Hopefully.
Hopefully that's how it's pronounced.
The Nisa is a fascinating figure. These F's are killing me with this tooth. In Scandinavian folklore. This small gnome-like creature is associated with the winter season and Christmas, but carries both charming and eerie aspects. The Nisa is typically depicted as a short, elderly man with a long white beard and a red cap, much like the classic Christmas gnome. The name Nisa is derived from Niels, a common Scandinavian name, while tomta comes from tomt, meaning homestead.
Okay.
The Nisa were believed to be protectors of farms and homes, ensuring the well-being of animals and crops in exchange for respect and offerings.
Sounds cool.
So you have to give offerings to them, and then they will, protect your crops, your animals, make sure everything's staying safe.
What do they want? I'll give them whatever they need. What do they want?
Well, let's see.
Okay.
During Christmas, the Nisa transforms into the Julian Nisa, a Santa-like figure who brings gifts to well-behaved children.
What about adults?
However,
does anyone know of any Christmas folklore that rewards adults for being good?
I don't know.
Because God damn it, I've worked hard this year and I've had a rough year.
Yeah, that's why Josh Gates is going to propose to you at Paracon next year.
I hope so.
Unlike Santa, the Nisa is more deeply tied to farm traditions and local customs. Families would leave a bowl of porridge with butter for the Nisa on Christmas Eve as a gesture of gratitude. The Nisa likes to be
salted or
fed.
Unsalted butter?
It does not specify.
Okay, I just want to make sure I get his preferences right.
I mean, unsalted butter is kind of bland.
That's true.
We want some
salted
flavor.
Butter. Okay, salted butter then.
However, the Nisa is a kind helper. The Nisa is a kind helper when treated well, but he can be mischievous or even vengeful if you're disrespectful.
I will not disrespect you. I don't need any vengeful spirits.
Forgetting to leave his porridge, mocking his appearance, or mistreating the farm could result in pranks, broken tools, or even sickness in your livestock, which I find to be a little bit of bullshit. Like, if you don't want the animals mistreated, why would you then give them sickness?
Yeah, that seems kind of mean. Like, make the people sick.
That's what I'm saying.
Who mistreated their animals.
That's exactly what I thought.
But careful, don't disrespect him, Kelly.
I don't have a farm, so I think I'm good.
Okay. Your husband's family does, though. He might come after the closest thing.
Look, that's up to them to leave the porridge out. The Nisa is often attributed with supernatural strength and a deep connection to nature. Some legends suggest the Nisa can become invisible or shapeshift to protect the home from intruders, which is interesting. Okay. I wonder what it would shapeshift into, like maybe the owner?
Yeah, so like a doppelganger situation?
Maybe.
I don't like that. I guess it's protecting the home, though, so it's not going to do it to you.
Yeah,
it's going to do it to anyone.
It's not shapeshifting to harm you.
Yeah, it's not shape-shifting to protect you. Okay, I guess I can handle that.
While mostly benevolent, there are eerie tales of the Nisa exacting revenge on cruel or neglectful farmers. In some stories, a Nisa would steal food or valuables, cause nightmares by sitting on a sleeper's chest.
Oh, God.
I know.
No,
that sounds terrible.
No, that's like the sleep paralysis witch.
Sometimes even harm or kill those who seriously offend him.
Okay. Well, if they offended him by hurting animals, I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm okay with him harming or killing them because don't hurt animals.
Don't hurt animals.
Yeah.
Today, the Nisa is a cherished symbol of Christmas in Scandinavia, appearing in decorations, stories, and traditions. However, the older tales still bring a mysterious and slightly spooky touch to his character, making him fascinating in folklore.
Okay.
We're going to get into a story about the Nisa.
Okay.
In a small village in Norway, there was a family known for their hard-working but frugal ways. They owned a thriving farm with healthy animals, abundant crops, and a sturdy house. The villagers whispered that their success came not just from their efforts, but from the protection of a Nisa who had lived on the farm for generations.
What?
The family knew of the Nisa and the importance of leaving him his favorite treat, a bowl of porridge with a thick pat of butter every Christmas Eve.
Quick question. So is Nisa like one thing or are there multiple Nisas?
I think there's multiple.
Okay. Because initially when you were talking, I thought it was just kind of like a one person or dwarf gnome-like creature.
No, this
But then
particular...
when you said they have a Nisa that lived on their farm, I'm like, okay, so there's multiple Nisas.
This is that property's Nisa.
Okay.
For years, the tradition was faithfully observed, and their fortunes remained strong. But one particular harsh winter, the father of the family decided the tradition was unnecessary. That's a mistake.
Not smart.
It's just a silly superstition, he said. Why waste good food on a creature that doesn't exist? Despite
don't do it.
Yeah, despite protests from his wife and children, no porridge was left out that year. I would have snuck it.
I would have snuck it too.
That Christmas Eve, as the family went to bed, the farm fell eerily silent. Around midnight, strange noises echoed from the barn. Thumping, stomping, and the terrified braying of animals. The eldest son peeked out the window and swore he saw a small shadowy figure darting between the buildings. When they went to check the barn the next morning, chaos greeted them. The cow's milk had soured, the horses' manes were knotted in impossible tangles, and the chickens had fled their coop. The family's prized rooster laid cold and lifeless in the snow, its neck twisted unnaturally.
No, Nisa, don't hurt the babies.
Over the following weeks, things only got worse. Tools disappeared or broke mysteriously. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm. I'm also hearing voices, but it doesn't sound as close. So I don't know if it's coming from outside or your house.
Okay. Tools disappeared or broke mysteriously. The firewood pile vanished.
What?
And at night, they heard faint laughter, high-pitched and mocking, coming from the attic. One morning, they found claw marks on the walls of their house, as if something tried to claw its way in. The family grew more fearful by the day, but the father stubbornly refused to acknowledge the Nisa. His wife, however, decided to prepare a bowl of porridge and leave it in the barn. She whispered an apology into the cold night air as she placed it near the hay.
Good for the wife.
The next morning, the porridge was gone, but the eerie events did not stop entirely. One night, the father woke to find a small, pale figure standing at the foot of his bed. The Nisa's glowing eyes bore into him, and in a voice as cold as the winter it hissed, "You have forgotten me once, but do not forget me again, or I will not just punish your farm. I will take what you hold most dear."
Oh.
The father, shaking with terror, vowed to never again neglect the Nisa's offering.
Yeah.
From that year onward, the family left the Nisa the finest porridge they could make, and the trouble ceased. But the father never again entered the barn alone at night, and the faint sound of footsteps in the attic reminded them that the Nisa was always watching. Yeah, so that is the Nisa.
Okay. That's terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, that warning, like,
tonight.
That warning, like, I'll take what you hold dear, that's his family. That's his wife and his kids.
Well, you'd think. I don't know. The guy kind of seemed like a douchebag, so maybe it wasn't.
Maybe. It'd be funny if, like, the neighbor's wife died.
Yeah. Okay. You ready for my next one?
I am.
Quick note for our listeners. We just took a short bathroom break because Kelly had to pee. And as Kelly was in her bathroom peeing, the REM pod turned on by itself again.
It did.
And she was
should I leave it on?
actively peeing. I could hear her pee. So I know she was nowhere near the REM pod.
Should I leave it on?
Yeah, I guess leave it on. Ghosty wants,
All right.
wants something left on. Reminder to everyone, if you hear a single beep, that is just the REM pod reminding you that it is on. It is not paranormal.
Well, I'm going to put my hand near it so you can hear the difference between a single beep, or it will sound something like this or like that. That means something is near it.
Okay, you ready for my story, Kelly?
Sure. And I'm going to keep my hands in my body where Jen can see them.
Mm-hmm. I always want to see your body, Kelly.
I know.
We are going to talk about the Yule Cat.
Kitty!
Kitty! Or otherwise known as Yule Cat.
Sure.
There's a lot of weird accents in that word, so probably not saying it right, but I'm trying.
Probably not.
And the Yule Cat, or Yule Cat, is a... Okay.
All right.
Something like a kitty. Yeah. It is a fearsome creature from Icelandic folklore. Unlike the cozy purring cats that we know, the Yule Cat is a monstrous feline that prowls the snowy countryside during the Christmas season.
Monstrous? Like, how big are we talking?
We're going to find out.
I guess we're doing this again tonight.
I guess we are.
I'm checking Amazon right now to see when my sage is getting here.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Guess what I'm doing tomorrow?
Saging your bedroom.
Yes, I am.
Good. So maybe the ghost will be gone by the next time we record. Hopefully. Okay, so the Yule Cat is known as the enforcer of Christmas spirit. The Yule Cat doesn't just observe the holiday festivities. It actively punishes those who fail to uphold the spirit of giving.
Okay.
The ghost agrees.
Sure.
You have to be punished if you don't give.
like this. It can just tell you if it agrees with you or not.
Exactly.
Alrighty.
Okay, so the primary tale warns that anyone who doesn't receive new clothes before Christmas will be devoured by the Yule Cat.
I don't like that.
Mm-hmm. So this ties into Icelandic traditions where families would work hard to finish wool production. So back to the spinning and wool, I guess was a big thing back in the day, before Christmas. And as a reward, the new clothing that they spun was often given as gifts. So if you didn't finish in time, then you were eaten by the Yule Cat. So the Yule Cat also is known to connect to the Grilla and the Yule Lads. So it's often associated with this. The Grilla is an ogress who kidnaps misbehaving children and her mischievous sons, known as the Yule Lads. It is said that the Yule Cat is their pet, kind of adding an extra layer of terror to the Icelandic folklore.
What does every Christmas need? More terror.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't need to be petrified. I mean, look how big of a hit Nightmare Before Christmas was.
I know. It works.
Yeah. Do you watch Nightmare Before Christmas as a Halloween movie or as a Okay, well, Ghost watches it as a Halloween movie or as a Christmas movie.
You're not going to like this.
You don't watch it at all?
I've never seen the movie.
My heart. How, Kelly?
Did you hear that?
I did. The ghost is just as upset as I am.
Okay.
How?
I don't know. I'm busy. I had a lot of kids.
More of the reason to watch it.
Well,
it's a kid's movie, kind of. It's with your kids, they lived in a fucking haunted house, Kelly.
Okay. Good point.
Give me another excuse because I'm not buying that one.
I don't enjoy animated things.
Okay.
I haven't seen a lot of Disney movies.
You're the worst. Why? How are we friends? I'm kidding.
Well, I showed up in your dog training class one day.
You did.
And you were never able to get rid of me.
I wasn't. Okay, well, we're watching Nightmare Before Christmas in January this year because you have to see it.
I think we'll be busy.
We'll have plenty of time.
We don't have a lot of time. We've got to record episodes. You have to work.
I'm going to be working, so I'm just going to throw it on the TV and tie you to the couch and make you watch it.
Okay.
And then I'll be singing along as I'm working. It's fine.
Singing? Is it a musical?
Yes. There are songs.
Oh,
this is Halloween, 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 Halloween.
I just thought that was like the theme song to it.
No.
The only musical I like is Hamilton.
Okay, well, that's good at least, because if you were going to tell me you didn't like Hamilton, I think we'd have to end this friendship now. God. I don't know if I could be friends with someone who doesn't like Hamilton. Okay.
Well, you're making me drink. It's your fault.
Just drink it out of the bottle. Just drink it out of cups like a little bitch. If you know, you know.
Seahorses.
Walk away. Lead me to the building. Fuck you.
One day, one of our listeners is going to say, I get it.
Yeah. One day, maybe.
Until that day, it's not our problem.
It's not our problem. Just like the chair.
That's what I say.
Okay, so the Yule Cat is described as a giant and fearsome creature with glowing eyes that pierce the darkness and sharp claws capable of slicing through anything. The ghost doesn't like the Yule Cat, or does like it. I don't know. One of the two.
One of the two.
Yeah. The beast is said to stalk the countryside, peering into homes to determine who has received new clothes and who has not.
Can you? I know we said we leave it on, but we are trying to record, so I'm going to turn it off.
Turn it off. I didn't realize she was going to be so active.
Don't turn it back on, please. Please let us finish the rest of this podcast. We know you're here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for showing us that you were here.
I have to say, I do want to apologize to Danny before I say this, but maybe your ghost is our number one fan.
Nah, Danny still wins. Because you know why? One, my ghost has never included me in their bachelorette party and bought me alcohol.
Okay, fair.
Two, the ghost doesn't send me money every month to record this episode. So
that's fair. Okay. Maybe the ghost can be our number two fan.
Three.
Because it shows up to every episode.
Three, from what I saw the other night, it's nowhere near as cute as Danny.
Okay. That's a good point.
Okay.
Sorry, Danny. I hope I didn't insult you. The legend of the Yule Cat served as a motivator for workers to finish weaving and spinning before Christmas. And if it wasn't complete, no new clothes meant that you would face the Yule Cat's wrath. Now, receiving new clothes also was acceptable because that symbolized kindness and caring from family members. And this tale just reminds people to give thoughtful gifts and look after one another during the holiday season, which I like.
I wonder why it would attack the people who didn't receive clothes instead of the people who didn't gift the clothes.
So it's not so much receiving. I mean, it did say yes to receiving, like that was good, but it was more so those who made the clothes. So you were supposed to make the clothes, and if you did not finish making the clothes before Christmas, then you were punished. But I think it added that even if for some reason you didn't make your clothes, if someone then gifted them to you, you were safe because that promotes kindness and giving.
Okay.
So basically, if someone was a slacker, then somebody else had to do more work to make sure that they weren't eaten by the Yule Cat.
All right.
So it depends who that person is. Because there would have been some friends that I would have been like, yeah, sure, have the shirt off my back. And then there probably would have been some that I would have been like, nah, let the Yule Cat get you.
I don't know. I can't. I'd probably give my shirt to anyone.
Anyone?
I mean, not Hitler.
I could probably think of a couple.
Okay, I'll tell you what. There is one person I know for sure I would not give my shirt
Who's
to.
that?
I think you know.
Okay, I do know.
Okay. Let's just say I know that the Yule Cat is huge.
Huge. He's huge. The biggest cat you've ever seen.
He's a very nice
cat.
The very big cat.
Very big. He's always nice to me. I always have new clothes, so he's very impressed with me.
The cat thinks I'm the best. The cat says you always have the nicest clothes
ever.
There.
In Iceland today, the Yule Cat is less of a horror story and more of a fun holiday tradition. Families still give new clothes as gifts to keep the Yule Cat away, blending the legend with modern customs. The Yule Cat has become a beloved, even a little spooky, symbol of Icelandic Christmas celebrations, appearing in decorations, storytelling events, and holiday merchandise. The Yule Cat has inspired poems, songs, and artwork, which I think is pretty cool.
I like the artwork. Yeah. I'd like to see some of the artwork.
Me too. Now, I did read a poem, and I was going to read it on here, but it didn't land well because it was written in a different language, so translating it into English, it just kind of sounded strange and not as flowy or lyrical, so I chose not to read it.
As a REM pod.
And it just
fell off the shelf it was on.
Was it on there sturdy?
I think so. It did fall off the last episode too.
It did. So I have a story about the Yule Cat. So there was once a wealthy young girl who was very rude. She mocked her poor neighbors for their tattered clothes, and she refused to share her extra garments, even though she had far more than she ever needed. On Christmas Eve, the Yule Cat appeared outside her home, scratching at the windows. The girl tried to hide in her room, but the cat's paw broke through the wall, dragging her out into the snow. The next day, the villagers found her clothes scattered across the fields with no sign of the girl herself. From that day forward, people believed the Yule Cat despised greed just as much as laziness.
Interesting.
And then another story, in a small village, there was a boy from a poor family who was worried that he was going to be eaten by the Yule Cat because his family couldn't afford new clothes. And on Christmas Eve, he decided to try and outsmart the beast. He placed a bowl of warm porridge by the fire and sprinkled it with a bit of ash to make it look old. When the Yule Cat arrived, the boy explained that the porridge was his gift and the family had saved it just for him. Intrigued, the Yule Cat lapped up the porridge and left the boy unharmed. Word spread, and the villagers began leaving offerings of porridge to appease the Yule Cat during the holidays.
I like it.
Yeah, the boy was smart.
Yeah.
Well, while the Yule Cat, with its glowing eyes and terrifying presence, may prowl through Icelandic folklore as both a symbol of fear and moral compass, it is a chilling tale that reminds us to value hard work, share generously, and care for one another during the holiday season.
It's a good lesson.
Yeah, I think so. And if anyone here is banging, I'm going to try my hardest to edit it out, but I don't know what the hell my upstairs neighbors do. Their apartment is,
I'm telling you, when I was there, it sounded like they were going to fall through the freaking
That's
ceiling.
what it sounds like now. And the apartment is not bigger than mine. It's the same floor plan. And I don't know how they have the room to make the amount of noise that they make. It sounds like they are training for the track Olympics up there. Hurdle jumping, something.
I can attest. Yeah. Scout's honor. All right. Next, we're going to talk about the Hans Trapp.
Ellie just started growling for no reason.
I haven't seen anything.
I appreciate it.
It's probably the banging that...
she's pretty used to that, but it could be.
The Hans Trapp is a terrifying figure from the Alsatian folklore, which is the Alsace region of France, sometimes referred to as the dark counterpart to St. Nicholas. Hans Trapp is a cautionary tale, blending greed, evil, and the macabre. Here's everything you need to know about this spine-chilling legend. Ooh. Hans Trapp was said to be a wealthy, powerful, and deeply cruel man who lived in the 15th century. His immense greed and lust for power led him to make a pact with the devil. Ooh. For which he was excommunicated by the church. Of course he was. Okay, as churches go, makes sense. You make a pact with the devil.
Yeah, that's fair. If he actually made a pact with the devil, then you should probably not be in the church.
Yeah, it's reasonable. Yeah. Cast out from society, he retreated to the forests and the mountains, becoming increasingly sinister and deranged. It's said Hans Trapp developed a taste for human flesh.
Gross!
Disguising himself as a scarecrow, dressed in straw and ragged clothing, he would stalk the countryside, preying on unsuspecting victims.
That's not very nice.
No. One winter, Hans Trapp lured a young boy into the forest. He killed the child, planning to cook and eat him.
That's rude.
But before he could carry out his gruesome meal, a bolt of lightning struck him down, sent by God as punishment for his wickedness. I don't know that there is a God, but if there is, good for you, God. Good move.
Yeah, there's a couple more people that are alive today that could probably be struck down by lightning for their wickedness.
I think that would be huge.
It would be huge. The strongest lightning bolt you've ever seen.
And God sent it just for me. Despite his death, Hans Trapp's evil spirit lingered, and he became a legend of fear. In Alsatian and Lorraine traditions, Hans Trapp is linked to St. Nicholas, as we said, as a cautionary figure. While St. Nicholas rewards good children with gifts and sweets, Hans Trapp punishes the bad ones. He is often depicted as a tall, menacing figure, dressed in tattered clothes and straw, with a terrifying skeletal face.
That sounds like my nightmares.
No teeth, though, because they all fell out, right?
Yeah, probably.
Hans Trapp roams the region during the Christmas season, searching for naughty children to scare. Or worse, drag into the woods and devour.
Gross. Why does everybody want to eat kids?
It is weird.
Like, I get it with the Yule Cat because it's an animal. So it's a little less weird. But a human, that's... Now, just punish them. You know, cut open their bellies and replace their innards with garbage, like a normal Christmas lore.
Today, Hans Trapp is a part of Christmas folklore, akin to Krampus in Alpine regions. His story serves as a chilling warning to children about the consequences of bad behavior. During Christmas parades or festivals in Alsace, actors often dress as Hans Trapp, delighting and scaring onlookers with his eerie presence.
Interesting.
But Hans Trapp's story isn't just about scaring kids. It also carries moral lessons with it. Greed and selfishness leads to ruin. Aligning with evil forces comes with devastating consequences.
Okay. When I hear the word Hans, I think of Hans from Frozen, which you probably haven't even seen because you're...
I've seen Frozen.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised.
I've seen Frozen, but I think of Hans Gruber from, what is that? Isn't that from Die Hard?
I don't know. Since she just said Die Hard, Kelly, I gotta know. And we gotta spark the debate. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I don't know, and I don't care.
It is not a Christmas movie.
It's a movie that references Christmas in it.
But it is not a Christmas movie.
It doesn't have a lot to do with Christmas.
I will die on this hill.
Other than a Christmas party.
Yeah, I will die on this hill. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. And
that's fine. I'll give it to you.
Don't at me. Actually, you can at me, and I'll just ignore you because I can do what I
want.
want.
I don't have to respond.
No. I mean, if you want to politely tell me that you think Die Hard is a Christmas movie, I will tell you you're wrong. Politely.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I do have a story about Hans Trapp.
Okay.
Long ago, in a small village nestled in the forests of Alsace, there was a boy named Matthew, known for his mischievous ways. He played pranks on the villagers, stole sweets from the bakers, and ignored his parents' pleas to behave. Despite the festive air of Christmas, Matthew's antics only worsened as the season approached. The villagers warned Matthew of Hans Trapp, the scarecrow man, who came for naughty children, and Matthew laughed it off. He's just a story to scare little kids, he scoffed. But his laughter masked a flicker of fear, especially when he passed the dark forest that loomed on the edge of the village. On Christmas Eve, Matthew's friend dared him to venture into the woods after dark.
Don't do it, Matthew.
Wanting to prove his bravery. Matthew accepted. Armed only with a lantern, he crept through the snowy trees as the wind was howling like a distant wail. The deeper he went, the more uneasy he became. The light of his lantern flickered, casting strange shadows that danced like specters on trees. Suddenly, Matthew felt eyes on him. The air grew colder, and a faint crunching sound echoed behind him. He spun around, but nothing was there. Then he saw it. A tall, ragged figure in the distance, its body draped in straw and tattered cloth. The figure stood unnaturally still, like a scarecrow forgotten in the snow.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, but Matthew chuckled nervously. It's just a scarecrow. Someone's obviously playing a trick on me.
I doubt it.
But as he turned back towards the village, he heard the sound again. Closer this time. He glanced over his shoulder, and his blood ran cold. The scarecrow had moved.
Oh, this reminds me of that Supernatural episode.
Which one?
Where there was a scarecrow in a field.
Okay.
I mean, there's so many. I don't know if you know what I'm referencing because there was like 1,000 seasons of Supernatural. But yeah, there was an episode where a scarecrow was in a field and it got closer and then like ate you or something.
I don't remember what it did.
Yeah, I don't remember what it did either. I just remember a scarecrow being in the field and it being really scary.
Now it was standing closer, its skeletal face gleaming in the moonlight. Its hollow eyes seemed to bore into Matthew's soul. The boy froze, paralyzed by fear, as the figure raised a straw-covered arm and pointed at him. A guttural voice like the wind through dry reeds growled, "Matthew, naughty children belong to me."
Oh, no.
Matthew's instincts kicked in and he bolted through the forest. The scarecrow gave chase, its straw limbs creaking and snapping like breaking branches. No matter how fast Matthew ran, the figure seemed to glide effortlessly closer. He stumbled into a clearing, the village lights barely visible through the trees. As he gasped for air, a bony hand shot out from behind the darkness, grabbed his shoulder. The icy touch burned like frostbite. You will be my feast tonight, the voice hissed, sending chills down Matthew's spine. Just as Hans Trapp dragged Matthew towards the forest, the sound of church bells rang out in the village. The chimes of midnight echoed through the woods, and the creature recoiled, its skeletal face twisting in rage. With the final ear-piercing screech, Hans Trapp released the boy and melted into the shadows.
Is he like fucking Cinderella or something?
Yeah, he had to do it before midnight.
Turns into a pumpkin at midnight? Okay.
Yeah. Matthew stumbled back to the village, his clothes torn, his body shivering. He never told anyone what truly happened, but from that night onward, he became the most obedient child in the village.
I bet he did.
Every Christmas Eve, he would leave a plate of bread and honey at the forest edge, whispering a quiet apology to the Scarecrow Man. Now, he was going to be his feast that night. Mm-hmm. So once the church bells rang at midnight, it was now the next day.
Oh, okay.
So he was not that night's feast. But it does say he never told anybody what happens, which leads me to believe how we know this, or wonder how we know this story at all.
Yeah.
So I'm saying he told someone.
He obviously had to tell somebody. He probably told his own kids once he was an adult.
Right.
When his
that
kids
makes sense.
When his kids were being bad, he was probably like, "Oh, I got a story for you guys."
I don't think you want to do that.
Don't do that. Let me tell you about Hans Trapp.
So that is the end of the story of the Hans Trapp, Jen.
Well, that was terrifying, Kelly. And that brings us to the end of this episode about Christmas folklore.
If you love what you heard, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen. Your support helps us reach more listeners and share even more spooky stories.
In the season of giving and the fact that it is Christmas, go rate us if you haven't already and give us 5 stars. That can be your Christmas gift to us.
I love it. It would be the best Christmas gift ever.
Just say wonderful things about us. Give us 5 stars and we'll love you forever.
And tell all your friends.
So that's the other Christmas gift. And also follow us on Instagram and Facebook because we post updates and pictures and fun things. And I guess it's only a couple of weeks from now, Kelly, but you'll be here.
I will.
Yeah, well, we're going to post a lot of fun shenanigans.
Do you have shenanigans planned?
No, but we'll plan them.
We'll plan them. If you want even more ghostly content, consider joining our Patreon, which would be the ultimate Christmas present.
Ultimate Christmas present.
We have fantastic exclusive perks for our listeners. We do bonus mini episodes. They're not as long as our normal
Sometimes
episodes.
they are. But most of the time they're shorter.
And you get the option to vote on polls about what upcoming episodes you might like to hear.
Mm-hmm. We have fun backgrounds and screen savers and desktops for y'all. And you get the episodes 3 days early.
You do. 3 whole days early.
3 whole days. You get to listen to our voices 3 days before everyone else.
That's right. And that is a gift.
That is a gift.
If you've ever had a spine-tingling paranormal encounter, share your story with us at notmyghostpodcast@gmail.com. And you just might hear it featured on a future episode.
Yes, that would be another great present. So just to summarize, if you haven't given us a 5-star rating, go do that. If you are able to join our Patreon, do that. And if you have a spine-tingling story you want to share with us, send us that. 3 Christmas gifts you can give us.
And they would mean the world.
The world. I get giddy every time I get a story that comes through our inbox.
Oh, yeah. We will text we got another one.
We got another story. Yeah. Thank you for joining us on this festive exploration of Christmas folklore. Remember, as you celebrate Christmas Day, keep this in mind.
If it's not your ghost,
it's not your problem.
Until next time, stay spooky
and stay skeptical.